Welcome back. In today's video, we are going to dive into the Later Vedic period, a fascinating phase of ancient Indian history that stretched roughly between 1000 BC to 600 BC. This was the time when Vedic society expanded, agriculture flourished, kingdoms took shape, and social as well as religious life became more complex. So, let's understand this period step by step. The history of this period is mainly reconstructed from Vedic texts compiled after the Rig Veda. The Rig Veda itself reflects the early Vedic age, but later came the Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. The Samaveda was basically Rig Vedic hymns set to music for singing. The Yajurveda included both hymns and rituals reflecting the social and political conditions. The Atharva Veda contained charms, spells, and magical practices that also show us non-Aryan influences. Along with this, the Brahmanas, a text full of rituals and explanations, were compiled in the Upper Gangetic Basin between 1000 to 600 BC. And interestingly, archaeological excavations from the same region reveal about 500 new settlements known as the painted greyware culture, where people used grey pottery and iron tools. This combined evidence of text and archaeology gave us a fuller picture of later Vedic period. During this time, the Aryans expanded eastward from Punjab to western Uttar Pradesh, especially into the fertile Ganga-Yamuna Doab. Two tribes, the Bharatas and Purus, merged to form the Kurus. Their land came to be known as Kurukshetra. Eventually, the Kurus allied with the Panchalas, and together they dominated most of the Doab, with Hastinapur as their capital. This region is closely linked to the Mahabharata, which narrates the great battle between the Kauravas and Pandavas around 950 BC. Though, of course, the epic we know was compiled much later, around the 4th century AD. Excavations at Hastinapur show beginnings of town life, but the structures were simple mud houses rather than grand city described in the epic. Later, after flood, the Kurus shifted to Kausambi. The Panchalas meanwhile became famous for their philosopher kings and theologians. By the end of this period, Aryans had spread further east to Kosala and Videha. Now, one of the most important features of this age is the use of iron. Around 1000 BC, iron tools and weapons began to appear in Gandhara, Punjab, Rajasthan and the Doab. Iron helped in two big ways. First, warfare. That is, iron arrowheads and spears gave Aryan military advantage. Second, agriculture. Iron axes and tools helped in clearing forests for cultivation. Agriculture became the main occupation. Barley was still grown, but now wheat and rice became common. In fact, rice remains from Hastinapur, dated to the 8th century BC, are the earliest evidence of rice cultivation in this region. Ploughing rituals are mentioned in text, and even kings like Janaka of Videha are said to have taken part in ploughing. However, agriculture remained primitive as plough were wooden, and there was limited use of oxen due to frequent cattle sacrifices. Alongside farming, crafts and industries developed. We hear of smiths, carpenters, leather workers, potters, and weavers. Pottery types included redware, black and redware, black slipped ware, and the distinctive painted greyware, which is often linked to the higher social groups. Archaeology shows around 500 painted greyware sites in western Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan.
Hello everyone. As you all know, Civil Services Prime Time is one of its kind initiative where we are teaching the students current affairs related to that particular subject one day at a time. అంటే ఒక వారంలో జరిగిన కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్ అన్ని ఒక సబ్జెక్ట్ కి సంబంధించి మేము ఒక రోజులో చెప్తున్నాం. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద రివర్స్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ టెక్నిక్. బికాస్ మీరు ప్రతి వీడియో చూసినట్టయితే ఎండ్ లో ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ప్రిలిమ్స్ చేస్తున్నాము, అలాగే ఒక క్వశ్చన్ మెయిన్స్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు గెట్ డైలీ అప్డేట్స్ అట్ 7 o'clock షార్ప్ యాజ్ వీఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఇట్, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి, అలాగే బెల్ కూడా క్లిక్ చేయండి సో దట్ 7 o'clock కి మీకు ఇమీడియట్ గా నోటిఫికేషన్ వస్తుంది.
Houses were made of mud bricks or wattle and doab, and life was largely rural and agrarian. Towns had not yet developed fully, but places like Hastinapur and Kausambi can be called proto-urban centers. Life was now settled and sedentary. The pastoral, semi-nomadic lifestyle of early Vedic Aryans were replaced by permanent villages supported by agriculture and crafts. Politically, there were some big changes. Popular tribal assemblies like the Vidata disappeared, while the Sabha and Samiti lost importance and came to be dominated by nobles and Brahmanas. Women could no longer attend these assemblies. Kingship grew stronger, supported by elaborate rituals like Rajaswaya. It is a coronation sacrifice performed by a king to establish and affirm his undisputed sovereignty and authority over other tributary princes. Next, Ashwamedha. It is a Vedic royal ritual where a king would release a horse to roam for a year, accompanied by his warriors to establish his imperial sovereignty. Next, Vajapaya. It is a chariot race which is performed by ancient Indian kings to demonstrate their strength and power. The race was held between the king and his kinsmen. The winner was considered to be the most powerful and worthy of the throne. And additionally, the king collected taxes and tributes assisted by priests and officials, but still had no standing army. Tribal units were mobilized during wars. Moreover, society became more stratified into 4 varnas. First, Brahmanas, a priest with growing power due to sacrifices. Second, Kshatriyas. They are warriors and rulers, sometimes in conflict with Brahmanas. Next, Vaishyas. They are commoners engaged in farming, cattle breeding, and trade, and also they were tribute payers. Next, Shudras. They are servants and laborers who are excluded from rituals and denied the sacred thread. Furthermore, the family was patriarchal. Gotra exogamy was practiced, and male ancestors were worshipped. Women's position declined compared to early Vedic period, though some women theologians still participated in debates. Significantly, religious life also changed. Early Vedic gods like Indra and Agni lost importance, and new deities like Prajapati, the creator, Rudra, the later Shiva, and the Vishnu, the preserver, gained prominence. Sacrifices became central in both public and private. But this led to a heavy dominance of priests who claimed huge gifts or dakshinas. Also, annual sacrifices were common and rituals became more elaborate. So, to sum up, the story of later Vedic period is a story of a change from pastoral to agricultural life, from tribal assemblies to kinship, from simple prayers to grand sacrifices, from gods of thunder to gods of creation and philosophy, from fluid tribes to rigid varnas. This phase laid the foundation for the emergence of mahajanapadas and early states around 600 BC, paving the way for the next stage in the Indian history. So that's all for today's video on the later Vedic period. If you found this explanation helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more history lessons.
Civic Center IAS is offering Telangana Group 1 Prelims cum Mains classes as well as Andhra Pradesh Group 1 Prelims cum Mains classes in English medium for a period of 8 to 10 months. This also covers the complete NCERT textbooks and statewide textbooks. So what are you waiting for? Learn through reverse engineering technique today. Admissions are in progress. Join now. Visit our website. Thank you.